Yo, yo, yo. What up? All right, all right. Happy Wednesday. MonteWednesday. Sounds good. Music's good. Make sure you can hear me over the music. Echo should be gone. I had it unmuted on another one. Let me know if the echo is gone when you hear me or all right, it's good now. Yeah. So I watched the stream above, like on my TV, and I had it unmuted for a second, so you could probably hear double music for a second. Plus, there's like a 30-second delay from when I stream to when it gets to YouTube to when I can watch it, so. All right. So this is render token. Mark Lane requested this yesterday via tip for Sam, and I ended up looking at it as well and doing a bit of my analysis. It's actually a really, I guess what it's gonna be, I guess what the coin is actually really cool. Here's a good one. Trending. Cumstar. How we have gotten to this point in crypto, of just having Cumstar be the trending token is beyond me. But render, so dude is moving, but I don't really give a shit about price. It'd be nice to get in earlier, but it's just what is render. It's a really cool, unique idea, I guess, but it's basically a distributed GPU rendering network. And so you can rent out computing power for GPU. So I think, if you purchase a, AutoCAD software or anything for rendering, something like that, a lot of times you buy something and then either your tech or the software is just instantly out of date. Something else comes out, and then what you bought and paid thousands and thousands of dollars for is now worthless in a sense, because everything just continues to get better with technology. But you can pause this, or you can go look it up and read this and see what it's all about. It's got some interesting backing with it, with J.J. Abrams. I saw that. I don't know who this guy is. You got Brendan Ike, who's Brave Software and the BAT token. He's on the board for it, but basically just a unique, That's obviously not Comstar, but I think it's actually got a use case. So price is obviously, let's see, get off log. See, price is way up. If you could have got in down here, 7 cents, 5 cents, I mean, it's what, 100x now? 5 cents to $5. Yeah, so go ahead and look in the comments, and Mark Lane's going to post a video explaining it. So probably do better than reading it, but it can explain what it's all about. So this is definitely one. I'm not buying it right now, but it's one I'm going to look at in a bear market, or at least on a big pullback. I'm certainly not buying it now, but anyway, so let's look at it real quick. So first thing I did was I think I first did this. Just 24 hours. I did the perfect pull, and it reacted okay. I mean, it basically got to 100% of this move here and retraced, got a new low. And so that's then when I put on this pull. You can see we had a slight, reaction here for sure. Once it lost it, looked like it could reject. And that's honestly, once we lost this, I would have sold here and then see what happens here. At least sell some, right? If I was in from way down here, then of course I had my weird pitchforks. This is OG. You can see we're right. I mean, we're now 3 days in a row tagging this median. So Andrew's median principles, price will stay around here and either get above it. It'll hover around it and either get above it and accept it and we continue up, or it rejects it. So one thing I can see here, when we shot through on the daily, we never really retested this, right? We shot up, rejected, and consolidated right here on this 236 and just continued up. So we've never technically tested this trend line. Now we could obviously go all the way to the top, then retest over here. So there's nothing that says we have to come here or here, right? Or here. We could go up, then test over here. But eventually we will test this. So what I would look for here is some type of divergence. So 4 hour, we've got these wicks that touched it, but if you go here, we've got a new high. And you're starting to get this divergence. So obviously it can push through. We know that. Here we've got the highest push right there. Now we've got higher price, less strength. So unless this thing really finds some volume, which it's certainly found volume, but increased volume here to continue pushing and push through this divergence. You've certainly got 4 hours, so you've got about 20 hours of straight green, but it's not a ton, right? You'd want a ton of increase. And right now I'm not seeing that. Overall, it looks good. You know, if you're in it for a trend, it looks great. But if you're looking to get in or flip some, I'd be wary here. Solid breakouts there. So now you get the 1-2 pitchfork. Look where we're at, right on the outer edge of this. So does that mean right now you add these two together, you've got quite a bit of resistance right there. Obviously we could break out, but typically you stay within this pitchfork. You may deviate, right, where you push and like, oh yay, and then you lose it and you come back. But this is just, I would not buy here. Look at your trend. I don't even know if I can, I mean, right, once you break that. All right, so we can certainly come up, test here, and continue up, right, until it breaks this trend right here. Let's look at this one. So I was in log, linear. So it tested it here. So, I mean, even on this chart, you can see we're at resistance. I mean, you need to get over basically that, and that's the same on all charts. Right, you have to get over that. If it wants to continue going, That's going to be a big resistance there. Right, linear, it looks a lot bigger, right? Looks like a big move. %, but here it doesn't look like it's that big, right? To get to the same outer here, that's 300%. That's 21 bucks. So for me, I'd be alarming around here, right? If it hits this outer parallel. Or if it hits this one. This is typically what I do if I'm looking to get into something. Just draw a trend line where I'd be interested, right? I don't know what price it's going to hit. I just know I want to look at this when it gets to the outer parallel of these. Right, and it's not something you can short, so I don't really care, you know, if it gets up here. I would technically short it, but I can't. So I'll just wait to buy it. And then I would just use my perfect pulls. You know, if there's, you know, the 618, if it hits here or it hits here, that's going to give me some confluence to bounce at the very least. So get in. If it doesn't do what you want to do, you can obviously sell or get stopped. But for now, just sitting here watching. Looks like a pretty strong push here. So either a B and then come down lower, potentially test this trend line down here. And that would just be this move. Or we need to push with strength and continue getting above this and test on here. And that's when you've really got a big, you know, big strong trend where you can get above an outer parallel here and the median. If you can get above and test it, that's when you can get the big gains. So interesting chart, interesting concept. So keep your eye on this one. All right, all right. So we've got, get out of here. So this is IABDO with Medinet housing. I looked at this for him briefly yesterday. So corrective move up, showing an impulse down. So now you'd like to retrace. So let's take a look at it. So first thing I did when I looked at it for him yesterday was went to the monthly, right, to see how old this was, see what the overall structure looked like. And so I went to monthly, saw 2002. And on the monthly, kind of seeing where we're at, I just did this. All right, so right, we popped above support, lost it, resistance, resistance, ended up gaining it again, support. Now we've lost it again. So is it going to continually be resistance, or are we going to, you know, swipe these lows and get back above? But you can see perfectly on the line chart, it takes away these wicks, but perfect bounce, and now we've lost it. We are showing some divergence, right? So less
I'm gonna buy
strength.
the fuck out of that.
So now we can start to look.
Mark Lane
All right.
tipped $15 cube. Imminent looking for areas
Was this
to add.
some 1, 2, 3, 4? Now we're working on a fifth to now either continue up or get a 2 to come back down. Thanks for the tip, Mark. Cube, you bought in, huh? Talked to you a little bit about it yesterday. Now you're in. All right. I'll get to that one in just a second. So, did my pull. Look what's sitting right on top of golden zone here. All right, so got the, I guess I can leave this on. Got the higher time frame view now, and I know he was curious more on the lower time frame of whether or not this was an impulse down. So it does look like this move down is complete for the most part. So right here I've got 3, 4, 5. We basically triple bottom now on 15-minute with divergence moving up. So you can see the strength starting to turn. Same here, divergence pushing up. So I like this as the low. You can see we actually 3 drives down into it. Tag the algo here. So now I like for a move here. I know he was in this trying to get out before more down, so I think that's your way to get out. Right, you want to see something like this though. Getting above here and holding. Would say that this is going to go for a bigger bounce. Because we did hit, right, we did hit the GZ of the speed fan. Which sometimes leads to a bounce. So you could exit here if you wanted to, you know, if it gets you profit. Or see if it's going to try to get above, right? And then if it loses this, then you could get out. Because there's nothing to say that it can't do this. Right? And if you're long, you'd kind of be pissed off that you sold here when it shoots up higher. The same breath, it's a big resistance. So could do this, right? That's a big monthly to lose. So really, here's your 2 options. I think we'll tag that. I do think right around here, 186 to maybe 181 would be something you want to be in. Because if you remember, here was our point of control. All right, I have don't. So just look for something like this getting up, and then if it holds this and continues pushing, you know, it could do, I guess, just barely pop out, hold here and push. But if you're underwater and you want to get out safely, and this is in your in profit here, then that would be where you'd want to get out and reevaluate. Either buy a retest above it with a stop underneath, or or look for POC, which I think it gets to. Why are you not finding the top? So this would be the Monte pool. You can see the 50 held, golden zone rejected. Once we lost 382, rejected it here, so here's where I'd want to be long. All right. Could always come up higher and still find target, so don't rush. Right, if it gets up here and you freak out, like, oh no. Still come back down. All right, to me, there's your targets right there. All right, I have to add another one. Cocoa futures. So you've got an A expanded B into a 2. So you're expecting this dude to take off. So, all right. Oh, you got it in a big triangle. So you got it going up. A, B. So you got it going 5 waves up to complete the C of the D. All right, so I need to zoom out and see this. Jeez. So this is your A down here. $37.10. Hurt my head with this one. So I'm not going to worry about your count. I'll just do my shit to see what I think. All right. So y'all know when I do, I've got different value area highs. So when I pull right entire price history, right? If it's in some sideways accumulation like this is what it looks like. Granted, it's huge swings, but right, you don't have anything that's an expansion like you would normally see something like this, right? Here's your expansion, and then you come back. That's going to be harder to get a value area on it, right? So this seems, of course, we're on a monthly. Seems pretty well. You could do the full price history. And this is macro, right? Because it's all price. You'll also see me, do something like this where I then just do this. So then it changes, right? So these were our macro value area high. POC is the same, but then I would put something like this. That would be just value area low, right? So then it says VAL. Because that's just of this range. But to me, macro value area is the most important, right? If we were to lose here on the daily or the weekly, I'd be really worried about continuation to the upside. At that point, I'd be looking, all right, well, maybe we come back down here, or we come back, well, you can see here, once we left this, let me see if it changes. Yeah, so this is good. So basically, when we left this POC, right, we'll call this bullish value area high, right, because we pushed above it. Look what happened here. We came back and retested it and bounced from it. See, right there. You've got your value area high of this range. We popped out of it. Came back to test it. All right, it held. Now we're ready for a larger move up. We just now have to break these areas. If we were to lose this, right, then I think we'd probably come back to this area, right, the POC. So first target for me, now that we test and held this on the weekly, would be right here. It'd certainly be a triangle like you've got. Well, I think you've got a triangle from down here. So I'm just going to look at it like this. Right, so from here we can either push out, retest, continue going. Or I would say we push up, right? Hard rejection down, test that macro value area low one more time. Guess I should do this on the daily. Same. Jeez, there's so much price history here. Okay. Right, so got an algo here from this move. Hey, Koki. Yeah, if I've got time, I'll look into those. So speed fan here. You can see how many times we've bounced off the golden zone of it, right? Slight break here, but so it might make sense because this has been battered so much, right? To get one more push and then get that move down. And then you've got that. So you can do all-time high, but it's not relevant anymore. So I move it down, right? I mean, you have to add another, I mean, at that point you'd have to go 886, I guess, or, you know, find what, maybe 786. All right, so we're under that as well. So you're gonna have to go to find some, I would say, I guess, arbitrary number to see what holds it, but here's how I do it, right? You would use this if price was here. Once we lost this, now we're trading underneath it, right? So you can see, let's just say now this goes straight up. And you're going to tag this trend line. You're going to tag 7618, right, which is the Monte fib that I've come to use. Then you get the move down. All right, let's just take this off. So let's say price does this. Rips up, right after tagging probably a golden zone. There you go. Right, so you don't want to hang around here too much. You want to POC, golden zone, boom. But are you going to break through? Maybe. But it could reject that, which is the all-time high. But you don't have anything for support. So what I do is I move that down. And now you've got another, right? It's still using a high, but it's not using the all-time high, right? Because speed fan uses price and time. So I don't use it for like, oh, look, this one looks good, or this looks good, or let's do this one. I do use the high, but eventually it's no longer relevant. Relevant. Lost it. Okay, so now are the Monte zones going to be relevant? Well, now it's resistance. So if I could just do another one. Right, so see how it starts to frame it? We lost it, so now we're bearish, right? So if you were in a long here thinking, right, we're going to break out, we're right at macro value area high. Once you lost this, that should change your mind. Because you're, in my mind, you'd at least go to the 7418. Well, we ended up losing that and trading under it, reject. But then there was this other speed fan from this pool. And we basically just, I mean, this is from 2017. We've basically just consolidated in between those two. So now, probably my primary would be this. Reject the all-time high, 7618. Come all the way down here before you get the bigger move up. Right, and then it may even come into play again right here. Resistance here, just at a much higher price. Right, so I'll alarm this. So once price touches it, I can update. And then I will add a trend line here for right. So if it hits here, I would want to long that, right? Macro value area low. Consolidation, right? You're at the extreme here. And then you would want to be long and see algo, Monte zone, speed fan. All right, Iabdo, that one looks like a pretty good play. It just depends on how quickly we go up from here and whether we break above. Obviously getting above here would just be time to go, and then you're not going to get that lower push. So all right, we've got Joe with XMR BTC. $2015. I don't 14. Yeah, it might be the earliest. So your target's 236 of this move. 1 XMR equals 0.08 of a Bitcoin. That would be quite the move. Okay, let's take a look. So you're here. Binance. May 14th. I know I was trading it on Poloniex back in the day. May 14. Come on. May 14. Yeah, they're about the same. So back at this time, Poloniex is probably the one that had the most volume. Monty, a friend of Sam. I am a friend of Sam. I'm actually his partner in Trade Devils. Sam started Trade Devils. I became a member, and then I'd been in crypto since 2013. And he was fairly new to it. He's a traditionals guy. And so he lived an hour away from me. And so I said, let's grab a beer, and basically pitched him an idea of what I thought Trade Devils could become. It could be an educational service, have a belt system. And so we're now partners. So we are certainly friends. I haven't always shared my ideas though, as far as trading. So I've started to do that recently. Bittrex used to have it. This is the only reason I may not use this one. Let me use a compare feature real quick. So looks like it's identical, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to use, because of that wick, I'm going to use Poloniex because it looks like they're pretty identical. Poloniex has started to suck now. Just Justin Sun took them over. And they've kicked off American. So during this time is when I was trading it. You're welcome, Tarmo. Eventually there'll be a Monte course, kind of like the belt system, but I'll be waiting for the bear market because it's going to take a lot of thought. I don't have time to trade and come up with that right now, so it'll be called the full Monte. All right. So that's handy. So this is linear. Usually for perfect pulls I use log, but occasionally I'll just click. See what it looks like, right? So we hit a 50 here. And then you see things like this where you get these perfect tags of the Monte zone. So first and foremost, we have got to get over golden zone. You can't even start to go up until you get out of that, right? See what happened last time? Reject, fall back. Once you got above it though, boom, you got that big move. You rejected here. Ended up coming back above it. This is when Bitcoin pushed to 60K. Actually, May. Here's where Bitcoin pushed to 60K. And here's where Bitcoin retraced. So dominance pumped, dominance dumped, and now we've got this. Currently, you've got a bullish retrace. It's deep. But until you lose that, you've got a higher low. Monte zone is this, right? Golden zone is here. This is a fib level I've come up with. I won't share more than that, but I will in my course when I get that done. But so I would be alarming here. Right, so strongest push here. I'm on a 3-day. All right, still strongest push here. Another really deep one, but less strength. So that's when it popped. Strongest push here. So I'd be looking to so we did sweep. That's what I was looking to see if we swept. So we swept that today. So two options I see now. One, hold above this level here. Right, hold above this daily. You do have a daily order block there. So I guess technically you want to just hold the daily above this. Right, and that gives you the option to go up, right? Because they swept. If they fail to get out of this range, I could see it coming down here. And then you'd want to come here, hold this now, and push up. $364,000 sats. And that's basically just a retest of the Monte zone. That would give you the divergence that you want. Right, let's say it comes up, comes down here, but you get the lower low in price down here, and you get the higher low in daily RSI, and that's what you want to buy. The best RR right there, and then of course your stop. I wouldn't have a stop on this, to be honest. Because if you've seen COVID, right, they sweep it with a wick underneath here to stop everyone out, and then they absolutely rip it. So I would buy here, no stop, and it would be a soft stop, meaning if we daily close under this, that's when I would lose that position. I mean, it's super tight, to be honest. 7%. Charmo, the only one I'm staking right now is Stratus, which I've been in since 2016. I've got a large bag of it and shot myself in the foot by not selling all of it. So I'm just staking it and waiting for price to recover or get a bigger move ups to where I can get more out. So I'm in from 6 cents on Stratus, so it's like $3 right now. So it's still in big profit, but it was $22 at one point. As far as other coins, no, I actually trade them. I get better results there. In the bear market, yes, I will. Bear market, I'll hold something if it's going to get a decent move and the APR is good, or I'll just hold stable coins and stake those while people trade and lose their money in the bear market. But Joe, this is what I would be watching. It's a good test, good sweep. So you could continue now, holding this level, or even holding all right. So we swept, come up, hold the order block. Then you want to hold this on probably a 4 hour after you test that order block and get out. Sure, you shorten bear markets just as you would in, longing in bull markets. You wouldn't necessarily, a lot of people say, I'll just short, if we're going to 137K, I'll just short it there and hold it, right? But doing that, you're paying funding, forever, I guess, because everyone, majority is short. So therefore you pay funding. So if you've got, say $1 million short and you think, oh, well, if it goes down 60, 80%, I'm going to make tons of money. But you don't necessarily just want to hold something for the entire bear market. Right? If something pumps to a golden zone on the macro time frame, then absolutely I'll short. All right. So you're going to have to hold this on a 4 hour, which is the value area low of this range, before I think we're out of this. Why are you failing? Joe, you said perfect pulls on daily line, so I'm assuming that's log, right? This is a good one. All right. So you had 0.0838. And I actually like that. That's right in this area. So here's kind of why I wouldn't have a stop, right? If they want to push it down a little bit more, right? If Bitcoin were to really start to push. So I would say that's probably your best possible price. Basically would be a triple bottom here and potentially sweep the lows. So now I've got the bear speed fan, right? Yeah, I don't like that one. So you can see the bear speed fan, how it's rejected here. Once we broke out, we popped out, got to close to this one. The Monte zone, the speed fan came back in it, lost it, rejected, held the bullish one, popped above, rejected again. I'm sure if you pulled a fib, Monte zone there, right through the golden zone, Monte zone rejection, straight down into the bear speed fan. Hell of a bounce. Golden zone tapped it, right, and just slowly bled out, right? So you'd be thinking A, B, C, no, C. Unless it's a WXY of some sort, so you get your three-way move in there, but what I want you to look at is this support here, resistance. So you've got right in this area, you've got all of them converging. If it doesn't get deep and it just instead uses time, right, that's where this would happen. Right, then it pops up, rejects the bullish one, gets above it, right? Now you're no longer probably going to get this entry. Right, then you would basically converge between the bullish and the bearish until you break out, you know, one way or the other. Assuming this is what it would be. See how those work? So it looks like inside is probably the best for now. Median line, Monte zone. Held us under this parallel, lost this parallel. Perfect bounce. I don't think we would make it all the way down here. Doesn't mean we can't. Yeah, so deviate out, come back in, then I would probably use, what is this, shift, modified shift to help frame it. But I like your target up here. Obviously, that's way down there, just 20 something, so you could always push higher. All right, Joe, good work. All right, let me get to Cube since we had Mark donate. All right, so this is Somnium Space Cubes. It's on Gemini. It's a meta, one of the meta space tokens, and this one's pushed by the Winklevoss twins. So I invested in this one down at like 220 right in May. So I bought down in here and just watched it go sideways forever. And then one day it just absolutely rocketed. Literally, it was one day that it went from 266 and it went all the way to 13. And of course, as a trader, I'm trying to sell this, right? 417% in a day. I'm selling. I don't care what you say. I'm selling. At least selling an initial, my initial investment. And so I was trying to sell. I had this pull. I was trying to sell 1250 and there was zero liquidity. So if you didn't have your limit placed, which I didn't, because I was not prepared for that move in one day, and I hadn't set up 3 commas yet for Gemini, which you can't set limits on Gemini. You can only mark it. Well, I was trying to mark it here, and it was saying I could only sell 2 tokens at a time. Well, 24 bucks, right? 25 bucks. That's not going to fly because I was trying to sell 500. And so I was pissed because it retraced, and I was able to sell some in here at the 10s and 11s. But now there's liquidity. Now that it pumped and now it's holding, people are buying it after it did this. But on this initial pump, there was zero liquidity. It was kind of funny. It's the first time I've ever seen basically where I couldn't get out of something. So perfect pool. I guess one of the main perfect pools would be here. Right from the 24-hour listing. You've got the 0 line, 236, 618, 1618. So now next target for that is 31, but you have to get above 1650 first. Another perfect pull is from the low to the high. And this is the main one I'm using, I guess, because my next target is here. But if we're able to get above 1650 and hold, and above 1990, I think we'll get to 3142, maybe 58. Right, this is meta space right now is crazy, so if you would think 1, 2, that's the 3. You've got a little bit of confluence there. So if you wanted that to be your target. All right, this is a crazy pitchfork, but it's basically the low, the high, and then the proposed 2. And right, you can see when we pumped that initial day, we hit the outside. That's why I was like, I'm trying to sell. There's just way too many reasons why I'd want to get out at that time to buy back lower. Right, and it went from 13 to 6. So what I sold in here, I bought back here. So Mark looking to get in. Assuming the market stays decent. Right, we don't nuke on Bitcoin. I would say this POC is decent with a stop at the low. Because if we lose here, I could see it come back to some of these levels it hasn't touched. Which would be 785, maybe 7. But so far it looks decent. Volume's still pretty good. Right, so if we were to, push up here and we were to hit here, that's where I think you're still hitting this outer parallel of the OG. All right, like this, I guess. Sell would be here, and where you'd be wrong, I guess, is if it gets in and holds, right? Then it would be going higher, which I have no idea, market cap of these or just now that Facebook's changed their name to Meta. I mean, it's just sky's the limit, to be honest, because just so much money, so many people There you go. That's kind of hard to see. Let me see. So if we get back, right, if we lose this area, my buy would be retest of this. So that would coincide. Who knows where it touches, but all right, so if you were able to buy 786 and then it hold this, or let's just say it dumps, holds and pushes back up, that would be your throw the farm at it. But so far, looks okay if we can get slight push out of here. All right, if this is the third, we're working on a fourth to get that fifth on the daily. On the 4 hour, strongest push was here. We had a weaker push and got pretty dang low. So now we need to move up. And again, I'm looking here at 42. Maybe that price range up here I showed. $55. Trying to get in this though now. Right, you just need to be diligent on buying and managing it. Right, I don't have to necessarily manage it because I'm in from down here, so it doesn't bother me. I've already got my initial out. So if you're buying, know that it could drop. If it pushes, make sure you're getting out and not saying, oh, well, I'm up a lot, I'll just hold it because, right, if you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, well, then we could come all the way back down here and now you'd be in a loss. So see, this is just so straight up. There's really no 1-2 pull you can do here. All right, Mark, that's what I would do. If we fall down 785 by, you said you're in, I think you bought yesterday when we were talking, around 14. So pay attention to that POC. Looks like we already tagged value area low with this one. So you want to stay above 15 at this point. You've tested value area high. So assumption would be hold POC, break it this time, test and hold, and then you decide here or here. Lose 15 and not able to hold value area low here. That's where we probably get the lower end. Really dependent on Bitcoin too. All right, let me get back to members. So this is Wonka with Atom. Adam ate my lunch up here. I was trying to get long, thinking we'd get one more kick up, and it dropped hard. Because we were holding this area. And I liked the project long time, you know, long term, so. But I had some leverage, and when it dropped here, I was able to get out around 33, but it hurt. You take your licks though and get it back. So linear target 53. Log target 60s. It's crazy that this was $1, right? So the Cosmos space, there's a ton of work being done. There's so many projects on it. So I do think it's going to be big. So I'm using USD calculated by TradingView. Let me see why I did that. I don't really know. I don't think we're going to get back here. So I can delete that one. All right. Need to see some volume soon. But if it can hold 2880, needs to get above 29.90 though, basically 30 bucks. Then we can start back up. As far as targets for me, my first would probably be 75. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . And then there's confluence at 100. So if you use this pull here, $382, your target. First algo. We need to get back above the zero line here. 32.32. You add in perfect pulls. All right, you can see all these algos why we ran into trouble in the first place. Basically all right there. Try to get hold above and we lost it. So now we have to fight to get above. But then you can see of course psychological number of 100. You've got 2 there. And if it goes really stupid, all right, you've got tons up here. So if it just goes insane, you'd want to be out up here. But that can always be ways down the road. All right, Wonka, good chart. Definitely in an uptrend. You can see the divergence here pushed us down. Big time here. But if you look now on the lower time frames, we've reset them. 12's at the low. Daily's almost down there as well. Big divergence there. All right, we pushed all the way up to the highs with this way down here. So it was a bit of hopium on my part for buying in here, hoping it would hold. So get back above 32s, 35s. I think you're well on your way to be up here. I'll alert 35. For now, there's just, I mean, there's a trade, I guess, right? We had this one, tag this algo. You could buy in here, I guess, with a stop at the low, but you still got this one here. The initial drop, so careful for 26. All right, Wonka, good work. All right. Link. This is from Demonlay. Is that how we say it? I know Sam says Demonlay. So you're on the 1 hour from 13. So you've got an expanded or running flat. All right, so this has been my perfect pull for Link for a while. It's worked pretty well so far. And then I've got the deviations in it as well. So here's where you've got your 1, 2, I believe. Yeah, you've got 1, 2. And you're looking for another 1, 2 here. But you've got this as an expanded B, which it certainly looks like. Right, because on the daily line chart, it did not create a new high, but it swiped it. So either, right, you've got the running flat idea, expanded flat idea, if it really wants to get nasty. But So yesterday we held above that deviation. But today we're starting to lose it. All right, so this 4 hour. So strongest push here. Probably could use one more lower low on divergence into the POC in this, I guess, 0.25 deviation here at 27.38. Well, I guess if it gets really nasty, Bitcoin dumps. I've got this 9.618 perfect pull. We tagged it here. And on the daily it looks good. Ideally, I don't want to lose POC, but there's just nothing. There's not a breaking the 50 here to get to this, and that brings me to think the golden zone could hold us, but as we get lower underneath POC, perhaps we come all the way down here. All right, just kind of no man's land. There we go. All right, so this one was a good 50. Tag of the deviation, move away. But there you go, Monte zone for the rejection. Ugh. So 22 would probably be the, obviously the best possible buy. You got the value area low. It would be nice to hold the 50 here. Have the POC spike below, catch this 50. And it would basically just then be right, get the push up. But there's a lot of potentials here, I guess. So if you're looking to get in, I would not be getting any leverage yet. If you're looking to get in for spot, and here you could start to leverage here. 24. And then I would leverage here at the 22s, and I'd be out if we broke this by much at all. Wouldn't be a hard stop, it'd be a soft stop that I would want to see how it reacts around 22s. Because then at that point, if we broke this, I'd be looking at probably that. Get the expanded move. Yeah. Linear GZ. Yeah. So I seem to stay in log for the most part. I don't know why, but anytime trading crypto, I just use log. And maybe that's how I came about with the Monte zone, because a lot of times it goes deeper. Right, so if it was me, here's where spot buy would be. Small leverage based on the perfect pull that's been quite reactive. Yeah, Link likes Lincoln logs, right? Obviously, look at the trend. 12 cents to 50 with hardly any pullbacks, of substance. You could just channel it. There'd be multiple ways to do it, though, I guess. Certainly not Elliott Wave channeling. This is why I like Fib channel versus. Right, did you see me try to do this the first time? You do the normal channel because it's in log and like it doesn't even let you pull it. Right, you can go this way, but you can't come back. That's why I've got the Fib channel and I've got it set with deviations. All right, so here's your median of that channel. Right, red's median, 0.75, 0.25. Typically 0.75 be resistance, 0.25 support. And now we're just working our way up. Here's median support. 0.75. So if we get down here, right, the next week, 27th. Or even here, 26 on the 23rd. Right, we'll have this tagged it here perfectly. So can also show you if we bounce up and we reject. So just a technique that I use. All right, so it needs to get above 31.35 currently. Else, I'm looking at these prices. Lose 22. Oof. Don't want to lose 22. All right. Dot. So you've got expanded running flat. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Buy around 37. Looking for 73. And ultimately probably close to 100. I like it. Thinking about one more leg down. Yeah. So I'm thinking 37 as well, and I'll tell you why. So I haven't done this on all the other charts necessarily, but so this is 3 month, right? You can go to 6 month chart, but it's nothing but green. 3 month. And you can't see it because it's off the screen, but I've got my object tree over here. You see 3 month blocked out. And look where our last 3 month level was, right? 37.08. It held us, you know, it's from over here. We fell through it here, rejected here, popped back through it on the daily with no retest. So I've been waiting for 37 for me to, now that Bybit has inverse futures where you can hold dot and long dot based off your collateral, I've been waiting for this. So very simple based off what you've got, but yes, 37 is where I've been waiting. I did get actually a $37 fill on the Bybit pair because it just went live and look, 37. I got filled on it already, so we may not get there on that one again. We may create a Monte fifth, who knows, but we may actually get there. But on the USDT pair, I do think we'll create lower. And this has been my perfect pull. Let me see. Yeah, so it was daily line. with the deviations. The reason I like this one is it's kind of odd because it's not taking into consideration these lowers, but I mean, I can't argue with a 2618 tag like that, and then a -1, and just right to a 618, barely above it, but 618, 236, right, and just perfect tag. Slight run above it, pull back, which normally you do have a pullback after you create a new all-time high. What you have to watch out for is, you know, the running flat, something like this, but that's in the current climate. I don't see us falling that far right now. And also, look, I mean, this rejection here, sweep these lows, tag the 1618, boom, run up to the 2618. So you've got the deviation here. I think that's a 50, so that would be a 62.5. Yeah, so you got a 62.5 deviation on top of the 37. We've already tested the 50 here, tested here. We haven't necessarily tested here, but we've a lot of price action around the 0.25. So I like 37. 37 or anything below, I think, is a very good long opportunity. In if you've ever traded inverse futures, I would encourage you to potentially leverage it. If you're new to it, reach out to me and I'll help. But all right, so here's a pitchfork. Uses the low. You deviate above it, break in, lose it, but then break back in. We're just, you can see how the outer parallel's been. So potentially, you know, deviation like this out and get back in. Right, another pitchfork that shows you some support in this area. You certainly don't want to lose this, right, and then trade in this area, because then that's probably lends more down. What you want to do is create some price action around this, push down for the 5th, and then get out of that area. So it looks like this. Then you'd be looking right, then you'd have, wow, perfect rejection of the point. Let's see, 0.125 deviation here. So assuming we hold in this area 37, we push up, we're going to have 61. I would say probably next is 74 of the 50. And then our ultimate targets. And that correlates with yours pretty well. You've got the fifth of the third algo 618 at 73. So that's somewhere right around here. You got the -1 at 85. So that's in here. And then who knows where the fifth can go when it gets stupid. Right, so if this is 1, 2, 3, expanded move of some sort, C, right? I'd pull here and you've got 2, 3, 6 here. Or if you just want to call the absolute high the top, then you've got your 2 through 6 algo at 106, which is some pretty sweet confluence for the top of that area. Dots definitely on my radar though. 37. Let me clean this up a little bit. So since we broke up into this range, all the price actions value area high is right here on 33.50. We've already tested it here decently. So I don't love getting back all the way down there. If you can get it, great. But probably move this back to this area and see what this distributive area looks like. There you go. So you can see right now why we held. I'm gonna put bearish because this was a distributive area before we fell. So that's how I'm gonna mark it. But it's not necessarily bearish, right? We're looking to retest it. So on the daily, we held it. Basically, anything beneath that was a great buy. But we lost this deviation. So that's how tight price can be. You know, when I say I look for daily closes or 4-hour closes, this is why. We held value area high, but we lost this 0.25 deviation, and our next deviation 62 0.5 has not been retested. We've got the 3-month area and we've got POC. All right, now it's POC of this area. We've rejected it here hard. Kind of got above it. Came back to it, rejected again, pushed through it, and have not retested it. So I like it. Your area is 36.20 to 37.14. And here I've got 36.12 to 37. So I think we're in agreement there for sure. So I like it. I like it a lot. So I'm already long from 40 as far as spot, but I'll be putting some pretty heavy leverage bids on my collateral here. You don't want to lose value area low. So that would be 32.68. You don't want to lose that distributive area on the daily. Else then you'll be back into this big area, value area high. All right, you see this here. So I'll put this on this green, bullish value area high. Losing this on the daily puts you back in this range. Let me scoot this over. All right, so if you lose that, then you're accepted technically back into, unless it's a bear trap. You know, if it were to come down, dip, and then instantly reclaim and push out, you'd have a bear trap where everyone's like, oh shit. But if you trade in here, then you're accepted technically back into this old range. And guess where POC is? Way down here, where we've got another 3-month range. All right, and we haven't technically decently tested the value area low, so you don't want to trade in there unless it's just a bear trap fake out that got pretty deep. Tested value area low and get out of there, but I already like testing value area low here and pushing off hard. So my plan would be this. All right. So we've got 2 more. Spell wrapped ETH to USDC. I've never traded sushi swap. I don't understand. I'm a boomer when it comes to that, right? I've been in this space for a long time, but all that shit's over my head. I just never taken the time to do it. Yeah, you're welcome, man. Good charts. All right, so this is from Scam. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Got us finishing the one on the daily. Putting in so far a 50 pullback for an A. Could go a little deeper. And he's thinking B, C into the golden zone, and algo. All right. Guessing it's this. Well, actually, he gave me this. So let me see. Oh, okay. Maybe. So I guess I'm on it. No, it's not the same because this is against ETH, so it's a lot higher.
A young, stupid kid who committed that terrible crime.
So why isn't it? Hang on.
I want to try to talk some sense to him. Tell him the way things are. But I can't.
Why can't I click the damn thing? Scam. You're typing to me. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Hit enter. Well, there you go. Can't click on it. You got to hit enter. Here's how I feel, right? Yeah. Boomer. All right. All right, so I like this the best. All right. So you can see where it got bearish in a sense, right? With these two pitchforks. Hit median here sideways, up, hit the outer parallel, median, 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 but then the big one converged here until basically popped above, lost it, lost that one, lost the perfect pull. That was your indication that this move up was over. So now you think we're in the fifth of the A. So we're on 4 hour. Man, he getting angry on this song. Not a ton yet, but I mean, we're on the 4 hour. You definitely have some into this parallel. You got the Monte pull, 382 rejection, perfect. So we could potentially get one more kick down to that 17. And then I think we retrace that whole move. And then you've got this thought. I mean, depending on how high it goes. Let's just say it comes over here, test the outer parallel. We could be down. We could have another down, right? If this is, which would break this one, end up losing it, but that break signifies a bit lower whenever it comes back to test. Thanks, Frank, for the sub. I mean, I suppose anywhere in here for the B. Who knows how high it goes? So I guess anywhere in here, which you've got between 14 and 12.5. I guess it's 1.4 cents and 1.2 cents, but kind of what it looks like to me right here. So this pitchfork here, now that it's in it, could help contain it. All right, so if we get that one more kick down, and then this pumps to here, and you've got the outer, so we fell through it here. It pumps up and tests it here, right? Because we didn't test anything. We just fell through. So be watching for this test as a potential rejection area. If it gets out of it, right, it comes out, deviates out, and comes back in. I don't even know if you can short. I don't guess you can short Sushi Swap, but you can short Sushi Swap the coin, I guess, but you can't necessarily swap Spell on Sushi Swap, as far as I know. But you could sell if you're not out already. Right, so that's December 11th. Maybe have a decent correction into then. Yeah, that's one reason I have never traded it, because I don't want to pay gas fee. I mean, I pay enough in fees anyway trading. But at least in that aspect, I affiliated myself, so I get paid to trade. All right, Scam. I think that it's a good plan. There's a few geometry things you can add to it to look. Once you get here, be looking about 10 cents. Oh, it's on FTX, so you can actually, yeah, I've seen this. It may be on, I think it's on Bybit now too. So this looks like a good Monty pull for this wave. All right, 50 tag here. From here, we consolidated in Monty zone, golden zone. Break it. That's when you start to gain. Big rejection to 50. Get above it. Hold it above the 38. 236. So, the reason I say that is look where this algo there is in relation to these. Right, so it's a very tight range of confluence, and a lot of time. What the hell do you go? There you go. It's a very tight range. 3%. You know, doesn't mean it can't blow through it to something else, but I'll be looking there for sure. A little messy here, but for the most part, I like this right here. From the low, if it gets to target, that would be a solid 267,472%. So I'd say that's a decent run. From the 33,000%. So going to alarm that for sure. Be sure to let me know to scam in the server when you buy this, because I won't be looking at it. And if it doesn't, set this alarm off at 13.7 or 1.37. Let me know. Good chart though. All right. Final one, wax. And I'll briefly take a look at the ones members asked me to look at. But I've been live 3 hours now, so I need to go eat lunch. So far, just a big, meme traders. You're making the cup, all right? Big bowl, accumulation, markup. So all right, so this pull, the full pull, is the bearish. So when you come into the golden zone. So what we did here was pushed above. Let's go to 24 hour. All right, so on the daily, straight pushed through all the cells here and held the golden zone. And now probably pushing up toward the Monte zone. That's a pretty big push right there. That's a good strength push too. And this pull, this is the Monte pull, the bear one. All right, so algo tag. There's why we stopped currently is golden zone of the Monte pull. Put these two together, you're going to have a lot of resistance in this area. So you're going to have quick pushes like this, right? And then harsh pullbacks. That's how they get through this area, is it's chop, right? But that's how they get through it. They get people to sell. Oh, it's losing. It's going to come all the way back down here, and then they buy higher, right? Once they start to see, oh shit, it's breaking resistance, then it dumps again. They're like, oh crap. All right, so that's where in areas like this, that's why it's easier just to hold it and not worry about it, right? You buy the accumulation areas and don't worry about this. If you buy in here, yeah, of course you're worried about it. That's why you don't buy in the markup phase. You can trade, but you don't buy and forget about it. You buy and forget about it in these ranges. When no one's talking about it, that's where you buy. Then this pull was just top to bottom a bull. You can see we traded under the golden zone, underneath the Monte zone a bunch of times. Once we finally pushed above, we went to the 50, pulled back. That was basically your best buy opportunity. Buy the Monte zone, retest of all of this, right? Price action here held, headache, 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 break through, retest, takes off. Worst possible scenario, I would say pull back to this value area high that I got off of this range. It's also close to the 50. That's where we broke up from. Ideally, we don't get back there, but that would be worst possible. So far, we now have the 382 holding us, which is also 618. So that's good. So you want that to hold. You want to attack 138. So change this to 3-month color because that's the higher time frame. 6 months as well, really. And that's where we're sitting right now. So we could change that to a 6-month level. Jesus. All right. Let's just go all the way to yearly. Strength is increasing. Your weekly closed above the golden zone. So that's big. Retest. Push off. So weekly, you do have some resistance here. So here's going to be your resistance. If you can clear that, I mean, moon time, but just, you know, it could just do some massive, right, sweep potentially and come back and test this yearly. All right, then you'd have all the meme cup and handle people. But I mean, based on how I would trade it with an algo with this pool, I mean, that would be nuts. I don't even know what it is, what it does, how many coins there are, but it's been $4 before. Why can't it be 17? I don't even know how they, they say targets based on how deep the cup is, but I don't trade those formations necessarily because of that. But just look for something like this, right? Push up, create a new high, get that pullback. I would be buying this yearly big time if it pulls all the way back there. So far, this is your support. If it gets above, then your support would change to probably, I guess that. But that's only after you create the new high and sweep. Let's alert it. All right. All right, let me look back real quick and see what a few members posted. I'm not going to do a deep like I've done for ones that posted a chart. Oh, Koki, man, you hit me with 3 of them. XRP, EOS, LTC, Enric, IoT. Shit. All right, I'm going to give no more than 2 minutes on each. So first, LTC. And I've got USD, and then I've got against Bitcoin here. So here's one of the main ones I've been following, right? So this is Bitfinex, Litecoin to Bitcoin. Speed fan, just disgusting downtrend, right? Just nasty. If I take these out, and this is a weekly chart. Here, that's why it was a log. I mean, just nasty. Pumps, retraces, pumps, retraces, pumps, retraces. So here's weekly closes. Here was a monthly order block. Right here. Right, we came all the way back to it. We swept beneath it for just a second, right? We actually even swept it on the monthly. And so far, we're starting to create an upward movement, which on the monthly is insane, right? That's either this is just never going to happen, or the move out of it is going to be stupid. And when I say stupid, I mean stupid. Right, so just converging from 2017. It could still go for a while based off this. And based off this, we can still go for a while as well, right? We can even, very end, just destroy everyone before it finally says, all right, time to go. So far, we haven't swept the lows over here. But anyone in the group Discord knows I've posted about this, and I said you'd have to be patient. But assuming it does what it looks like it's going to do, eventually you just buy it and forget about it. And converging like this, right? Everyone thinks like, oh, it's gonna do like what it's always done. Pump and retrace. I don't think so. I think it does something ridiculous. Who was the last coin to do something ridiculous that looked just like this? Does that not look similar? Weekly chart. Just make it yellow. Look pretty similar, doesn't it? Every time pumps, retraces, pumps, retraces, pumps, retraces, pumps, pumps. Bleeds, 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 gets to the end of this. Pumps, everyone's like, yay. I made 161%. Great. No, 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 no. Okay, you missed out because you saw that and you thought I was going to do what it always did. 6,000% against Bitcoin within January 4th to May 3rd. Right, this is obviously when Elon was doing his shit. But 5,200% in 98 days. And that's against Bitcoin. This is while Bitcoin was doing his thing too. So I'm not saying this is going to do the exact same. All right, I mean, this is absurd. But if I do the replay and I take it back before, does it not look somewhat the same? Right, you've got converging. Price, RSI on the weekly. Eventually, when this coils and springs up or down, whichever way it wants to go, I'm not saying it has to go one way or the other. divergence, and of course being at the lowest part of the chart, I mean, you would think up. Yeah, don't go all in. This is the put some money in and potentially make a bunch of eggs. But nothing says it has to do this, right? They may want you to think it's going to do this. I do think Litecoin will be 1,000, 1,500. I do. It may go more. It may go 5,000. I don't know. I'm just showing you the lightness that I see in this and in this. Right? If you can put money that you can lose, or that you can be patient with. I mean, not even lose. I don't think it's going to zero. But so far, we haven't done anything. Right, so let's play this on the weekly and let's see how price acts. So look at the RSI here. All right, see, popped out. See how the RSI popped out. Right, everyone thought, oh, this was it, because we pumped up, oh, we swept this, now back to obscurity, right? RSI trend line, we came out, we kind of held here. You now watch, it just goes off the screen. All right, so see, look at RSI. That's kind of what you want to be. Go back real quick. So this is a weekly, of course, but you see what we popped out, tested it on the weekly, tested here. That was this one, this small pump, tested this trend line here on price, tested weekly RSI. That's then when the next one came. Now we don't have divergence on the weekly. This one created this stupid divergence on the weekly. Right? I mean, right, so price way up here. I mean, there's no way you can predict this. Most people would sell way before they get way up here. All right, so there's where you get the move. And now it just price action, you know, bleeds back down. Of course, remember, this is the Bitcoin, so. And now ultimately, look. We're back in this triangle. So deviate, does it go again? Who knows? I'm not playing it unless it gets down, way down here, but likewise, reason I told you that was you could take a position in here, but you may want to wait till you get that initial move to get, you know, go more in. If it's going to follow the same, big if, right? You can get something like this. You get out, you come back and test. Then you push up with the RSI. And this is weekly again. So this is not something you buy and look at and stare at to make sure, oh, is it holding? Oh, no, it's losing. It has to have weekly closes on weekly candles. So it's every Sunday. But, you know, say price pops out, then it does whatever it wants to do. Right, so value area low, we already tested it, accepted and rejected it. So now maybe the initial pump gets us to POC, and this time we hold value area low. Now we've got macro value area high. You don't want to, you know, I say this about Doge. It could do the same. It might do the same. Don't bet on it doing the same. If you can get above macro value area high, sure. That's where you let your, you know, you take your initial profit out at either POC, macro value area high, then you're riding house money. So I'm sure you didn't care about Litecoin to Bitcoin, but now I said 2 minutes, and I think that was freaking 20. Yearly open 124. You do not want to lose that by any means. So I'm using this wicked, this is Bitfinex. I'm using this wicked, fat finger. I mean, this is the biggest Darth Maul I've ever seen, but down to 1 cent. I mean, 0 bars. It went from 1 cent to $19.99, so $20 basically. So that was 199,000% in 1 day. But that's what I'm using for this. And it's an inside pitchfork, but it works. It's caught a lot of the moves perfectly. Yeah, Charlie Lee sold his coins, but I mean, good for him. He did a fair launch anyway. He had to buy his coins or mine them just like everyone else. So he didn't do a Buterin where he, based off the code he gave himself, 25% of the supply. He had to mine it just like everyone else. So he just trusted what he did. It was fair. So to me, it was, based on what I've read, it's one of the fairest launches besides Bitcoin, of course. One of the fairest launches of any coin. Let's see, I've got a perfect pull here. So a 236 and a 618 at 342. We reacted bigly over here. I mean, all the way down to 22. Here we swiped it, reacted harsh. Now we're at this 1618. So I think if we can get be nice to hold that. I think we're okay. Hold that. Underneath 208, I start to pucker a little bit. So with this, I use this based off daily line. You can see how we rejected to the damn dollar. $2.94. That's the OG. So we need to get back in that and accept it in that. Then we can start to push for these big numbers. Once we're accepted back in this OG, assuming we do. So far we're in the shift. You can see median rejected hard twice. This was the fake Walmart pump, right, where they said Walmart accept Litecoin. This is modified perfect tag. And then inside pitchfork. So we need to get out of 340. And then this is, I mean, the amount of consolidation in this is stupid. So break out of here. I would say probably stall in here. Maybe not. It may just blow through it because it's already tested it once, twice. Third time it may blow through it, but 1186. Then you'd be looking at 23, 32. Assuming it gets all the way up there. Maybe it does a doge and just says see ya. And finally catches back up. And really does turn into the silver to Bitcoin's gold. Who knows? But I do think it gets into these ranges for sure. All right, well, there was 20 minutes on my 2 minute. what else was it? XRP. I'm for real gonna do 2 minutes now. All right, so you want to hold $1. So perfect pull. 135 was our resistance. Tapped it perfectly. And now you basically want to hold $1, I believe. So once you lose that, and we've got a wide range here. But that brings in 66, which I had talked about before, which would just be a massive sideways for this AB, and then a move down for this C. Test where you broke out of on the daily. Perfect pull. And then I think target would be, I mean, just perfect pulls. Right, pretty simple enough. You can see resistance here with the wick, resistance, support, broke through it, lost it, resistance, gained it. Do we test it again? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe we come back to test it after we get up here. Who knows? Right, but break 135 on the weekly, and the, I mean, really the daily. If you close the daily above this, go time. All right, EOS. So this is my perfect pull. This thing is frustrating as can be because it never does anything. But hopefully Dino Coin, it eventually does something. So I do have an alert if we get down to 267. That's the POC of macro, basically. Ideally, we just continue to hold this trajectory. Right, that's a weekly, so just keep trending up, basically ascending into these algos that have been support and resistance for a long time. Break it with strength, And then you're looking for these higher 21, 69. I mean, 50% here. Had an alert at 250, so I had to have some reason. There you go. I guess 618, I don't know. But don't love these. MACD rejecting down. So far, the strength isn't there. You can turn the MACD around just by going up, but hold this trend line. We tag deviation of this perfect pull. So we need to get above 515. So far, we're still just holding this trend line. Could come a little lower, but needs to start doing something, that's for sure. All right, I think final one, IoT. Is that what it was? IoT USD. Probably done this one for you before. And I said, hopefully whenever I told you we weren't here yet. So maybe you bought 105. Went up to the 50 right afterward, and I wanted us to continue up, but we've gone more sideways right now. Not a bad thing, I guess. Holding POC here. You basically don't want to lose 119 now on the daily. You can see it tried to right here, but it held it. So Monte pull, and you got the 618. Actually, that's full pull here. Monte pull. So you're wanting to fight now. You're wanting to attack this area. So it needs to start pushing. Looks like it's going to. Based on that. Strength is increasing to the upside. Sell pressure is waning. So it should start to push up now. All right. Then I think I had 376 still as your next. Yeah, so you held the golden zone here. You don't want to lose that. Like I said, that'd be the same as the daily. Target. Not like in there if it's gonna keep doing its thing. There you go. A couple of good macro value area high tags into the macro bear GZ. Push up. Change it up a little bit. All right. All right. Now it's 3 hours, 40 minutes. So only 13 people left. So sounds like I'm boring. So y'all have a good Wednesday. Hopefully this market continues to hold. Bitcoin doesn't destroy us too much, but things are holding well so far. So we need to gain 61,400 though. So look out for that. Gain 61,400 on the 4 hour. We should move up to 63 or so, and then we can start to attack higher. So all right, y'all, thanks for hanging around, and we'll see y'all next time.